I'm going to go to event management. So that way I can see exactly what it is that I'm showing to you. Now, because it's been a while since I've done this, I'm also going to go into LinkedIn and I'm pulling up my Meller Marketing Company page on my dual monitor. I have it off to the side. In this case, because I haven't done these in a while, I want to make sure that the live stream is working. I don't have 100% confidence that's happening right now. All right, now I can see myself. And I also want to test the volume for, yep. Okay, so I can hear myself. All right, so the video live stream process, the way that this works, if you're newer to live streaming, there's about a 30-second delay from the time that you go live until the time that people can hear you, okay? It reminds me a little bit of when live TV is doing streaming and they have people in the sidelines that will say things, and if they accidentally swear or something, they need to bleep it out, right? It's not the same logic here, but LinkedIn's not bleeping things out when we're live streaming, but I don't know how these things work. I'm not a tech person. I'm a LinkedIn person, but my understanding is that there's a little bit of a delay from the time that Restreams hands it over to LinkedIn and LinkedIn receives it and pulls it up. Okay, let's see if it's working. Yep. Okay, so I can hear it on here. So now I'm in, this is an event page. And let me take you back to the top level of my company page and walk you through my discovery. And then I'm going to demonstrate for you live on screen some of the new features that they're giving you in your company page. So I noticed this on a client page last night and I went into my own page and I'm seeing it as well. And the interesting thing about LinkedIn is they sneak these things in on us without really telling us. And I think it's just their way of market testing things. They wait to hear feedback, what people are using with it. They kick the tires if people are complaining because things aren't working, and then they make changes and then they gradually roll things out. Most new feature changes on LinkedIn do not get much attention. It's more people like me, independent coaches, independent marketing consultants. I guess it creates an opportunity. I kiddingly will tell my clients sometimes I've created a business because LinkedIn is confusing and they don't explain these things for you. So thank you, LinkedIn, if you're watching this. All right, so I'm starting on my company page and you're going to notice that there's some navigation items along the left-hand side: dashboard, page posts, analytics, feed, activity, edit, inbox, edit page, products, jobs, events, newsletters. By the way, I do company page audits as one of my services. You don't understand what all these features mean and how to make the most of them to support your company page presence on LinkedIn. Maybe you're using it for business development, lead generation, brand visibility, employee advocacy, marketing strategy, whatever it is. This is what I do for a living, as I go deep into understanding LinkedIn, and then I share this information with my clients and members. So today, actually yesterday, I was poking around working on a page audit for a client, and I noticed this events tab, and I said, ooh, that's new. So I clicked on it, and I was thinking it was just going to show me a list of events that they used to show us in the post view. You could see upcoming events on pages, and now you can't. I'll show you that in a second. But now what I notice is you got your upcoming events and then you have your past events. And I said, well, that's interesting. That's something that we didn't used to see in here, in this view at least. And then when I clicked inside it, and let me show you this, I'm going to go to the first one, the live with Restream that I did at 9:35 a.m. this morning. It's now 9:56 a.m. Eastern time. Now, if I click on that, it's going to take me inside this admin view of this past event. Now, here's the new things that I noticed. At the top, you see where it says new to event management. You can create short form clips from your event using the video editor to share and promote. So that's one thing. You also can see in here your event recording is available. Now, I think this has been around for a while. I haven't really noticed it because I've not been doing live streaming for a while. And why haven't I been doing it? Because there was a rise in viewership when they first launched live streaming, which coincidentally was during the pandemic. We were all working from home. We all returned to work. Live streaming declined over time. There's a life cycle for everything. And rather than fight that, just accept it. There's a life cycle for things. Sometimes I'll take the hit on views because I want to use a feature, which is what I'm doing today. Sometimes I will stop doing something that used to work before because it's not working. And I want to put my time and effort towards things that are getting me closer to achieving and exceeding my business goals. So in this case, I'm going a little bit deep into the live stream to demonstrate this feature because I think this is going to help you. It's also helping to educate me so that I can help my clients and members in the future. So I see your event recording is available. There's edit and there's download. So I'm going to first click on edit. Now, I'm having some microphone issues right now. I have this really cool Samson Q2U microphone. It's been working pretty good for me. On this past Friday, I decided to do a group coaching call in the backyard, and I literally unplugged everything from my home office and set up a table in the backyard, got an extension cord, got it all hooked up. Didn't bring my microphone, but I unplugged it from my laptop. When I came back in the following day, hooked everything back up, my microphone wasn't working again. And I just got to troubleshoot it. I probably got to spend 10, 15 minutes, and I just don't want to bother with it right now. So my sound is actually coming through my webcam at the top of the screen. At any rate, in this video, I'm going to play it and you're going to notice there's no sound. So let me play it right now. In the video on your screen, I'm actually talking, but I didn't realize until about 3 minutes in that the sound wasn't working. So let me just fast forward that. That's quiet at 2:43. I don't know what I was doing. I must have been leaning closer to whatever source it was pulling the sound from. There we go, 3:08. So right about, you can see 2:52, 2:54, it's counting up right now. At about the 3-minute mark with 2:57 is where the sound starts, okay? So I'm gonna scroll it back a little bit. At the 2:59 mark is where I wanna start it, okay? So this is saying I can trim it. So let me just pull this left trim over to 2:59. Now the video will be clipped. The first 3 minutes that you can't hear me talking are going to be omitted from the video that sits on LinkedIn, which is valuable because if you're having sound issues like I did with my microphone and somebody starts watching the playback and there's no sound, how long would you watch that video before closing it and navigating out? I wouldn't probably stay for more than 10 seconds, if that. I'd probably close it right away, right? So I want to clip that out, and I can see there's revert to original. So if I made a mistake, I can do it here. Or if I want to click, I can click on trim. So let me click on trim. And now it's saying trimming your video. This may take a few minutes. LinkedIn, why don't you say this will take a few minutes? Because it's going to take a few minutes, right? It says trim processing. I'm imagining that the processing time varies based on the total duration of the video, meaning if it was a 2-minute video, the processing time, because the file size is smaller, wouldn't take as long as a 1-hour video on here. Fun fact, I figured out years ago when I first started live streaming that the longest you could do a live stream was 4 hours. I was doing live-a-thon events at that time with different speakers coming in. I wouldn't recommend that you do a 4-hour live stream now, just so you're aware. That's what it used to be a few years ago. I'm imagining it's probably still the same. So it says trim processing. We're now processing the trimmed video. The updated version will be available shortly. Shortly. What does that mean, LinkedIn? We don't know. Okay, so that's how you edit it. Then you can also download it. And let me just see what happens. First time doing this. So if I click on download, it's just giving me the raw file. It says output progressive, blah, 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 blah. Bunch of gobbledygook coding on here. I'm going to click on save. And I'm imagining that's the full 6-minute video, not just the 3 minutes that I've edited, because that's the raw file on here. Okay, couple other things on here. Create event clips. So turn key moments into posts on LinkedIn to boost visibility and engagement. So come along with me. We're going to click on create together. Okay, so now there's a 32, it should just say 32-second. Did you notice how they put it in the captions? Let me rewind it. Let me rewind it a little bit. Can I go back to the beginning? It's really finicky on here. The little play bar, it's not liking the scroll. Okay, so if I go back, see where it says there's a 32-second? It should be 32, the word second, S-E-C-O-N-D, the time duration, but it made it 32 seconds. So captions are not necessarily perfect. I do like that LinkedIn is giving us the ability for those closed captioning on here, but do be aware captions aren't going to be perfect on here. So now the video is 3 minutes long instead of 6 minutes. It trimmed out the portion where you couldn't hear me. That's good. Okay, so now what? So they're saying edit highlights and share those along. What would I do? Just click on share? And then I could just repost it to the feed, do that. I feel like that's a bit misleading. So let me click on the back arrow to see if I can go back to there. So it said create event clips, turn key moments into posts on LinkedIn to boost visibility and engagement. And you saw what happened, right? When I clicked on create, it just took me back here. Okay, now it's saying creating clip. Now, is it creating a clip? Okay, so if I wanted to, let's just demonstrate this. I'm going to pull this over to here and maybe pull the right one over to here. And this is a 7-second clip. Let me try this. Let me play it. Now you can, since you have the brackets turned on, you can click on play. Do I move this bar? Can I move this? Okay, let's move this to the beginning of it. And let's click on play. It's almost 20 seconds here. Okay, so I'm gonna just do demo of taking a photo and showing Restream portrait versus landscape. So I'm calling it what the video clip is about. There's other software that I do using for clips because I can read the script. I can read what I'm saying as I'm saying it. Now in here, I'd have to watch the whole thing. So I might use this feature in combination with software like Descript, where I can upload the full video and I can read through it and I can go, okay, I want to get the 7 seconds from 132 to 139 or whatever in there. So now I'm going to click on Save Clip. This is using the in-platform feature on LinkedIn. It says clip saved and is now being processed. Okay. So we're going to give that a second to cook because it's going to take a little bit of time depending on the file duration and file size, total, and all that good stuff. I'm clicking on the back arrow. Let's see what else we have in here. Boost event. This is where LinkedIn's making their money. This is essentially you're going to be pushing money on it, making it a LinkedIn ad that's pushing it out to people. I'm not going to do that, but you can do that from the video clip. So just be aware of that. Review results from your event. Now, this event wasn't promoted in advance. I don't think anybody watched it live, but let me just click on review and see. So total event registrations, this has one that was me. So if you were creating an event and you could see who registered for the event, maybe you were doing some paid ads against it, you could see who paid or who you netted as a registrant from those sponsored ads. So paid registrations, I feel like this is a bit misleading because paid registrations, it makes it sound like I'm charging $47 for my masterclass and you paid $47 to watch it. No, this means I achieved more registrations by sponsoring or by paying for that. And it says total registrations update in real time. Source breakdowns such as organic paid data may take up to 48 hours to appear. Registration data available 1 year after submission. I'm going to click on learn more and see if they clarify what was the words paid registrations on here. This is just saying admin roles on the page. So this is not giving me those insights. So I am helping you where LinkedIn has left a gap. Maybe somebody from LinkedIn will watch this and they'll go, we do need to update and say registrations from paid activities or registrations from sponsored posts. Something needs to change in there, I would think. Okay. I'm not going to spend too much time going through the rest of this because, again, it was just me watching the video, but you can look through some of the analytics. I don't know if that's that much different than what existed before. I'm really focusing more on accessing the video, getting the clips, that kind of stuff. I think that's the new part that I didn't used to see before. Okay. So I'm going back up to this event, looking at, it's a little bit hard. I couldn't do the back arrow there. So we did the event clips. We skipped the boost event. We clicked on review results, follow up with attendees. I think this is newer. I'm not used to seeing this, but again, I haven't been doing live streams for a while, so I can see who attended. I can also see if I were to have sent invitations to people that were not accepted, I could see them inside here. And my guess is if it had multiple people that indicated they were planning to attend, I could message them. You're not going to be able to see exactly who attended live or is watching the playback unless they went into comments. I don't think LinkedIn's going to show us that data. I know you want to see it, but I don't think they're going to show it that. But you can see who planned to attend live and you can message them and you can say, hey, Kelly, I saw that you indicated that you had, or I saw that you registered for my live stream event. Were you able to watch it live or in playback? If not, here's the link. If you want to watch it, would love to hear from you. So you can use that to support community engagement. Okay, analytic highlights, I'm not going to do anything there. Okay, so what else? New to event management, create short form clips for your event using video editor. I think this is going to be the same as this create event clips, but let's test it. So click on create clip. Yep, it's the same thing that's in here. Okay, so now that I did that, let me click on the back arrow. Remember I created an event clip earlier. Let me click on create. Is it in there? Where's the thing that I created as a clip? Oh, here it is. Okay, media list, event recording, saved clips, demo of, that's where it is. And this is a little bit confusing. So let me go back here. If I click on edit, it's not there because that's the edit the video. If I click on download, that's the full download, which I already did. So this is confusing to me. Where I get this should, if it says create event clips, it should say create or access. I think there should be a different word because it's not intuitive to me. I'm going to say it's not going to be intuitive to the average person, I don't believe. For me, It's almost like learning how to LinkedIn operates is like learning a second language, and I speak that language. So I know where they're probably going to tuck things because of how they've done things in the past. All right. So I know if I clicked on create clip, I can probably get access to the clips that I've already created. But the average person looking at that may not be intuitive to them. So I am explaining this to you, my audience. So I see under here, save clips, create clip is an option there. And then there's post and 3 dots. So I can send it to Campaign Manager if I want to put some money behind it. I can download that. Let me see what happens when I click on download. Yep, it just gives me, so I would probably want to rename it and call it clip, because otherwise it's going to have a file name that's not going to make sense to me. And then let's see what happens when I click on post. So I'm going to do, and this was a 19-second clip. So here is an example of a video clip from my live stream this morning. Okay. I'm going to click on, there is closed captions that are available here. What I would prefer to do is burned in captions whenever possible, because many people watch videos with the sound off. LinkedIn doesn't give us that ability to create that. I can use Descript for that. I can use Camtasia. I can use CapCut. There's a variety of different things, but the trade-off here is this is LinkedIn Sandbox. So we're looking at the convenience of creating a clip, publishing it near immediately, as opposed to the time it might take me to download, figure out the clips, add in burned in captions, come to it later. It might be 2 to 3 days later when I finally go back here. So just some things to think about here, some considerations with regards to creating those clips and using different software. Okay. All right, so I think that's essentially it inside here. Let me stop the screen sharing and come back to pulling myself live on full screen here for you. Again, this is a demonstration of a newer feature I notice on company pages. I just noticed it yesterday, June 17th, for the very first time. The event link may have been there for a while. I didn't really notice it because I haven't really been doing a ton of events for my own company page. I've stopped doing live streaming about a year ago. I'm still have access, obviously, to Restream, which is why you're seeing this right now. And I'm glad I came back in today because I can now see there's a portrait mode, there's a landscape mode. My Instagram live stream wasn't working, so I might need to test that out a little bit more. At any rate, it gave me an opportunity to do a video. I messaged my friends within John Esperian's Espresso Plus community on a LinkedIn DM last night, and I said, hey, I noticed this while working on a client project. My friend and fellow LinkedIn colleague, Kevin D. Turner, neither of us work for LinkedIn, but we specialize in it. He said, hey, can you grab me a video clip? I couldn't last night, Kevin, because I was elsewhere, so I decided to do this today. And in the meantime, he has published something about LinkedIn features changes, and he gave me a shout out for this one as well. So I do hope that you enjoy this video. My name is Brenda Meller. If you do need more help using and unlocking what's inside that company page on LinkedIn to grow your brand, to generate more leads, or just to market your company more effectively on LinkedIn, I would welcome the opportunity to chat with you. Go to mellermarketing.com, or you can email me at brenda@mellermarketing.com if you'd like to learn more about my company page services. That's it for today. You'll also be seeing this video on YouTube later, and thank you so much for watching.